So now we've pretty much formatted our document, but even though we've only got a small amount of headings in here, we know that some of them are actually wrong. We've got a heading 1 formatted as a heading 2, and we've got a heading 3 formatted as a heading 2. Now, we know where they are because it's a very, very short document, purely for demonstration purposes. But if this was a long document, how would you know where everything is? And because you'd have to go through and you'd have to scroll and you have to know what the styles are and you'd have to know all this information. But Word has this feature which is just wonderful. It's this very, very powerful feature, and it tells us exactly what we're working with without even having to see the entire document. It kind of gives us a summary of the levels. And this thing's called the navigation pane. Now, if you're using the Mac, this is called the document map. And if you can't see it because it's turned off, if you click on the View tab and then under the Show subsection of the ribbon, click on Navigation pane, and then it will appear on the left. Now, as you can see, we can have our navigation via our headings. Now, this feature is so powerful in Word. If you don't know about this, then you're going to wet your pants because it's just amazing. But as you can see straight away, we have this hierarchy in Word. Now, our hierarchy is wrong because if I left click on this diagonal arrow to collapse heading 2, and then I left click to collapse heading 1, it's telling us that there's only one heading 1 in the document. Well, actually, there's another one down here, but it's formatted incorrectly. It's got the wrong formatting. And that's one of the reasons why we use styles correctly in Word, because it gives us the levels. And it tells us what's going on. Now, let me show you what's going to happen now. Now, I can do there's a lot of ways I can reformat this heading 1, but the best way, of course, is to click on the Home tab and then click on heading 1. Now, look what happened there in the navigation pane. I'll just press the undo to return it back to heading 2, and then I'm going to reapply heading 1. Look what happens in the navigation pane. Straight away, it gives us our hierarchy. Now I can come back over to the navigation pane and I can left click and I can expand the first heading 1, and then I'll left click again. And now I can see heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. And now I can see my hierarchy. By left clicking on these headings, I can navigate through my document. And here I can see heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 is actually, heading 3 is wrong. Now what I can do is again, I can click in the heading 3 in the document, and then I can click in heading 3. But with a navigation pane, and because we're using the right styles, I will emphasize that, what we can do, we can right click. Now, if I click on promote, what's heading 3 going to do? Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? Up means, because it's formatted as a heading 2, up means it becomes heading 1. Down means it goes heading 3. Again, it's hierarchical. So if I promote, it's going to go to heading 1. So what's going to happen? There we go. So straight away, if I collapse, I now see I've got 3 heading 1s, but I don't have. So what I need to do is I right click and I demote again. And now I have my hierarchy. If I right click in the navigation pane, I can come down to expand all, and I can see my document, all of it. And again, this navigation pane is just an amazing feature in Word. It really, really is. And you can do other things with this, but I'm not going to go into this now, but because I just wanted to make you aware of it. But if I select heading 3 and drag up to above heading 2 there, look what happens to the text underneath heading 3. It moves with it. Again, it's this hierarchical feature of Word. Heading 3, of course, is now at the wrong level because a heading 3 doesn't ever follow a heading 1. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. You don't jump levels, not in proper documentation. If yours is, then you need to revisit what you've written. Okay? So to make heading 3 into a heading 2, all I do is click on heading 2. And then I change the text to heading 2. I come down to heading 3, or my heading 2 at the bottom, change that to heading 3, and then I either left click on the style there, like so, or I can even demote it. Let's say I want to demote it. Look what happens on the style ribbon. Look what happens to the style. Jumps straight away to heading 4 and heading 5 appears. Okay, now we've jumped too far now, so I now want to reapply heading style 3. And that's another reason why we use styles in Word.